Meghan dared to arrogantly blackmail King Charles when the king invited them to Balmoral to meet Archie and Lily. But this witch got a little overeager and she forgot that the royal family also holds a secret weapon that has directly affected her. Let's find out what it is, and welcome back to my channel, my thirsty friends. So when I got this news, I was a little bit surprised, but I also found it pretty easy to understand. Alright, so I thought maybe the king is trying to meet the seemingly invisible kids, or perhaps this is his way to force Meghan Markle to show them. But it seems like Harry and Meghan are not thinking that way. These two narcissists believe that King Charles is just desperate to meet his very special grandchildren, and they are demanding that the king has to apologize to them first as a term of agreement. I mean, the gall of those two. Seems like Harry and Meghan have forgotten about their current situation. If they want to threaten the king, they should really remember that the palace is keeping the investigation report of Meghan's bullying case secret. Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing. At the request of the late queen, it was kept hidden and it wasn't made public. I do remember at the time, Meghan Markle was still more than happy to announce that she was innocent. However, we know what the truth is. I mean, if Meghan Markle was not a vicious bully, then why did 17 royal staff members all quit their jobs at around the same time? It's not like people have no reason to believe that Meghan was a bully. Most of us understand just how bad Meghan was in Australia. I mean, we've heard the stories. And I believe that if not every employee had to sign an NDA, I think there would have been a whole series of people who would have come forward to talk about their experience with Meghan Markle. So yeah, I really believe that Meghan is a bully, a vicious one at that. And the decision not to publish the bullying report was not supposed to be a way to cover up for Meghan. Instead, I think that decision was made because they knew that was going to be their ace card they could hold on to in the future. But it seems like Meghan must have forgotten all about it, or maybe she's just too egotistical to believe it would ever be published. Meghan Markle has never shown anything but abject disrespect towards the royal family. She even dared to go against the Sandringham Agreement when she started this brand new American Riviera orchard business. I mean, this woman is beyond. Many people are always confused by the royal family's decisions, but I don't think they're that confusing. I suspect they know how to play the long game, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now, Meghan has been in a position to do that. It was handed to her on a silver platter, but she ruined everything. If she had just acted right, played her cards right, I mean, at that time, Harry was more popular than his brother, and she really could have used that to become more famous. But instead, she trashed the whole royal family. It also seems like Meghan Markle didn't really consider the fact that Harry was only popular because the palace covered up so many of his misdeeds. Now, over the last few years, we have gotten to see the real Harry, and honestly, I could have done without that. I suspect, though, that if Meghan had managed to become popular, it only would have been in the short term. I think long term, people would have seen her for what she really is. The royal family was very smart in allowing Harry and Meghan to expose themselves. You know what they say, when your enemy is busy destroying themselves, don't get in the way. Meghan was so blinded by her own sense of self-importance that she didn't realize how much power she let slip through her fingers. And why did Harry choose to marry this horrible, nasty bully of a woman? Perhaps the truth is there is some blackmail in some way, shape, or form. Maybe through Soho House, maybe that's causing him to have to agree to everything she says. The obvious disrespect, the just throwing out palace protocol, and the ugly behavior towards staff, that all called for Meghan Markle to be fired from her position. And Harry still decided to take her side and stand up for her. So perhaps he doesn't care that much about bullying. He's ignoring the Baka people in Africa, so it looks like he truly doesn't care. These two, though, are such a waste of space and oxygen. Just imagine all the good they could have done for the world, especially in Africa, for people who are literally starving. But instead, they have to spend millions on themselves. Meghan is buying all these clothes that don't even look good on her. She is such a disappointment, and Harry also must have been quite the disappointment to his duty-bound grandparents. I think Harry is as bad as Meghan is when it comes to the bullying. When he was a little boy, he kicked William because he felt jealous, and he apparently ran his tricycle into palace staff's legs. That should not have been tolerated. They should have put a stop to that early on. Maybe if Harry had been forced to learn right from wrong early on, maybe he wouldn't have ended up with somebody who just exploits his connections. And why does Meghan do that? Because she only cares about herself. Just look at how she launched her phony brand while her husband and brother were at an event honoring their late mother. And she even used the title where she said that she was bullied. I mean, what is wrong with her? She is really a disgusting individual. Now, American Riviera Orchard, as far as I can tell, violates the Sandringham Agreement because that agreement said they are not allowed to use the titles to support their business ventures. I simply cannot believe the firm officials allowed it. I think they didn't know about it. And I suspect they are taking steps to get ready to deal with her once and for all. Similar to how the palace withheld the bullying report, just waiting for the right time to release it. At this point, I do not believe that the palace is protecting the gruesome twosome. If they were, nobody would know there was any bullying. So I'm going to ask the question again. Why has the royal family not taken the titles away? Most people are just sick and tired of this nonsense, and we just hope that they're going to fade away into obscurity. We don't care to see their names on the headlines anymore, and their titles need to go. But it seems like the royal family has played a blinder by allowing them to hold on to the titles. Because even with those stupid titles, Harry and Meghan's reputation is in the toilet. Now, if their reputation had suffered because the titles were removed, then you know they would have whined, they would have blamed the royal family, they would have hurled all kinds of accusations and insults their way. So at least this way, they have nobody to blame but themselves. And honestly, sometimes I don't think that removing the titles is going to do anything other than encouraging Harry and Meghan to pitch a fit and tell all of us, look how poorly we were treated, all because Meghan's biracial, whatever. To be fair, in the UK, the titles don't mean much, and in the US, they mean absolutely nothing, so perhaps it's best to just let them keep them. If anything, it's a great reminder of how insanely stupid those two have acted. I mean, just think of the opportunity that Harry and Meghan threw away. They had the opportunity to have everything taken care of for them, to be famous, and to be loved by people all around the world, but they didn't want that. And this whole time, the palace knew exactly what kind of person Harry was, a stupid person, and they got Meghan all figured out too. Now, it's taken them a little while, but they have completely failed, and they're going to continue to fail, but only because they can't really succeed at anything thanks to their arrogance and their incompetence. Her late Majesty the Queen was honestly a chess grandmaster. She's the one who set this strategy, and obviously it's still working. I think it was Napoleon who said, never interrupt one's enemy when he's making a mistake. Well, clearly Harry and Meghan didn't study history, unlike most members of the royal family. If they had taken the titles away, then there would have been quite the furor, and they would have pulled the racist card again. The royal family, with a few exceptions, they haven't got through history with these knee-jerk reactions. They know how to play the long game. So this way, at least they haven't been interfering with anything. They've just allowed Harry and Meghan to hang themselves. So let's use the bullying report as a great example. Even though we didn't see it, we all know what the result was. If Meghan Markle were innocent, then they would have released it. Not a single employee had to come forward. We all know they were bullied. And we also know they were bound by confidentiality laws. Most palace employees are incredibly loyal to the royal family, and so I understand they wouldn't want to expose the rest of the family to this whole mess and drama that was brought on by Meghan Markle and Harry, the never royals who removed themselves from the equation altogether. If the report were published, I'm guessing there would be a lot of whining that Meghan was slandered, that she was subjected to racist treatment, and that the royal family didn't protect them. The best way to handle narcissists is to ignore them and just let them destroy themselves. And of course, we all hope the truth will come out eventually. We want to hear the details of just how awful Meghan was to everybody, and what she's done to Harry too, how she brainwashed him. But anyway, I don't think it's a big rush. I think that we can wait, we can be patient here. I think with time, everything is going to be exposed, and the royal family is winning this game already. Meghan and Harry, basically their lives are a house of cards, and it is quickly collapsing. Now, if Meghan had not been so self-absorbed and so cruel, and if Harry hadn't been such an idiot and been so jealous, I think they would have had a chance to become the most famous couple, perhaps even in the world. But don't get me wrong, there's no way they would have surpassed the Prince and Princess of Wales. If Meghan hadn't been such a horrible person, if she did some good work, if she showed respect, if she had actually acted like a team player, then she could have done great. She could have been very popular. At the time, Harry was portrayed as even more popular than William. People saw him as more cheerful, more outgoing, more fun. And Meghan had an amazing platform, but she decided to throw it all away because, well, she can't work with other people. At this point, both of their reputations are destroyed and there's no chance of repair. I mean, Harry was very lucky when he was born, but he doesn't seem to understand that his popularity is going to continue to plummet with every single lawsuit that he files, every single pass the buck dirty pap story he releases. He believes they're not going to be traced back to him. We're not that stupid, Harry. He's a lost cause at this point. He's such a loser. And as for Meghan, look at what she's become. Now she's a fake duchess trying to sell dog food. This American Riviera orchard with their invisible products, it's not all that impressive. Everybody can sell these products. Museums, Martha Stewart, zoos, aquariums, Nordstrom's, Macy's, Highgrove. They already sell jam and tea towels and candles and soaps. This is all the same crap with different labels slapped on it, and it all comes from China. There's nothing innovative or creative about this, much like Meghan Markle herself. And she used American in the name, but she still uses her title and puts crowns on stuff. It doesn't make any sense. And she has told us that she hates the royal family, but she is so desperate to be viewed as royal. And she's desperate to convince us that she is still connected to the family, but she's not. So I guess since she used the word American, she could have easily dropped that title, and she could have said that she was planning to work with small businesses. And if she were to only sell made in America products, maybe she could have been successful. But Meghan Markle has to have that title, and she has to use the royal family to get any attention for herself. Because she's a nobody without them, and she knows that, and I'm sure that eats her up inside. Meghan Markle is the one who's desperate for this connection to the royal family. She should have respected them. She should have issued an earnest apology. But no, she's trying to dictate the terms of the agreement with King Charles. She's out of her mind. The truth is, Meghan doesn't seem to be aware of what their current situation is. After all, it was Meghan and Harry who cut down all their trees. It's not shocking that this go around she continues to be so self-centered and she continues to pass up every opportunity that comes her way. I do hope that she comes to her senses soon. Otherwise, that bullying report is going to be published. Or maybe I don't hope she comes to her senses. I think that is going to end her for good. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed this experience. If you agree with my opinion, please like and share. Your love is our motivation. If you have a different opinion, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments so that we can discuss it together. And please do subscribe to receive notifications when the newest videos are updated. We will be back soon with more interesting videos. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.